the discussion about testing tools is always a bit problematic, simply because there's so huge variety of different sorts of testing tools available, and there's really no silver bullet or not even a couple of easy selections to say which things should you all at least learn when you want to learn something about testing tools. To illustrate this problem, here's a survey results from 32 software developing companies. And in this survey we collected information on what specific tools for software testing your development team has acquired. Keep in mind that the number 32 is the one we are looking for here, because that's the amount of different developer teams we interviewed. As you can see from these results, the amount of different tools and the types of different tools varies greatly. What's most interesting, or some would say alarming, is that there's the amount of test case management tools which is applied by only approximately 50% of the different organizations doing software testing work. Combining the test case management tools with the bug management tools, we get to around 66%, and that's still way less than what could be expected. But there's an easy explanation for this. Although there's some forms of testing tools, for example test automation suites and bug management databases, or some common tools for tracing bugs or quality control tools or doing separate unit testing, the most usual tools for software testers are actually the same tools that the developers use. The IDE, integrated development environment, and the documentation available, designs, architecture, so on and so on. So, giving this short talk, I'm not going to go through several minutes here. I have decided to not talk about specific tools or give you instructions on how to install something like Mantis DB into your own intranet server. I'm going to say a couple of words about the different categories of tools, or types of tools, if you please. So, normally the testing tools are the same than the development tools. Obviously, there's also some domains which use specific testing tools or quality assurance or standard adherence tools. For example, something like GSM network analytic systems, or stuff that tests that your mobile device follows all the protocols, or that your wireless network device actually is able to function with the normal wireless network service boxes. Well, asking from the testers themselves what are the most important tools for your development work, the answer is quite clear. Almost everyone we talked with said that our most important tools are the development tools, so we can use the software, we can see the source code, and so on, and the ability to communicate with the developers. The tool for software testing is communication. The testers, whether it's the documentation or internet database or post-it note on your keyboard, actually say that the communication is their most important tool, simply because they need to be able to know if some problem or some component design is by choice or by accident. Also, if they run into some persistent problem, they has to have the ability to contact the developer to discuss about their recent findings. So, on overall, the testing tools are the development tools and communication. However, I know that this isn't really satisfying answer to a discussion about testing tools. So, what are the different types of testing tools, you might ask? Well, like I said earlier, there's several different categories here. So I took one from the software engineering book of knowledge. Or at least they say that these are the sort of categories or different types of software testing related tools. Tools designed and developed specifically for the testing purposes. For example, the testing harness provides a controlled environment in which tests can be launched and the outputs can be logged. It also means that the harness allows us to introduce a controlled variety of problems like missing memory cards or other things, and also ability to record the internal workings of the system. Also, the test generators are tools which are used to generate use cases or test data or do something else to generate parts, for example test stubs for running the test successfully. The capture and replay tools are related to test automation and also tools which can be used to teach the system to play with the software product. For example, create tests to ensure in a mobile phone simulation that all the different activities, basic functionalities exist and they function as they are expected to do. The next category, the oracles and file comparers and assertion checking tools, are used to help the testers to notice if there's problem with the output or if there's something unexpected somewhere or if things happen differently than they should. The oracle problem how can we tell software when something isn't right, of course, is something that has to be taken into account here, but overall these tools are in most simplest form just software tools which highlight the different outputs from the expected results. Similarly, the coverage analyzers and instrumenting tools are things that just analyze which parts of the software, which modules, which source code lines, which parts are checked by our test cases. So more or less they enable us to get better coverage or ensure that everything is tested at least once. Similarly, the tracers tell us what happened, where we were, what is the reason of this bug, what was the system doing and where the problem originates. And the regression testing tools are used to support the regression tests, meaning that when we need to retest things, these tools help us to do checking work or assertion testing to ensure that everything still works as they were working before. Finally, the reliability evaluation tools are used to evaluate our results, and they also enable us to collect more information, for example, about the performance or reliability, or how much overhead or how much lag the system had. So these sort of testing tool types are identified, for example, by the professional literature, but still I'd like to close this presentation by reminding you that if you are working in a small company or in a project which doesn't have that dedicated tools for software testing, then the most common testing tools applied by the software testers in the industry are the development tools, same things the developers use, and ability to communicate and find more information when necessary.